Okay.
Yeah, recording in progress. Um, man, so we were just talking about a thing. So I want to bring this up because this falls into like what's happening market wise and everything. Um,
Hmm.
I I am going to continue to be a teacher, but I am looking to work remotely on the side
Yeah.
because just so many different things. I find the resurgence of COVID to be really interesting. I find traveling on the trains, that's where I was going to, traveling on the trains in New York City to be, it's always been treacherous, always, always, always. But
Always.
yeah, and I've always, this is so bad because this is like a New Yorker. It's like, I'm gonna do everything I can, but I'm giving it to God. Like, yo,
Jesus,
yo,
take the wheel.
no, not even that. It's like, yo, Jesus, like tap me on the shoulder. Tap me on the shoulder. Let me know what's going down. And that's basically what it is. And it's nothing that I haven't heard anybody else say. I am. I will continue to be teaching. I want to continue to keep teaching. A lot of teachers have said like, "Yo, this is some bullshit. I'm getting the fuck out of here." And mostly they've said that because the amount of workload that's been put on. I have been on this kick lately where, I look at the stock market, I look at my investments. I am not nearly as close to what I'd like to be doing. But, the measures are being made. I would like to be working remote. And what that means is that maybe I'm not in the country, which would be nice. you know, maybe I'm not in the country for that week, for that month. Um, but that's the trajectory that I'm kind of working towards. And traveling in the city has always been treacherous, crazy. The minute that I heard about it, Marcus, I gotta tell you a story, okay? My son's school is about 4 miles away from there, okay, from where the incident happened.
Wow.
And my son is he's a he's a teenager. He's late to a lot of places that he has to go, and I wasn't worried. But my mom called me, and then one of my best friends called me, and then my girl called me. So I'm like, "Yo, uh, you okay?" And then I'm irrational a little bit, but rational. Like, he can't answer his phone in school. As a teacher, I'm not letting kids answer their phone in school. Get out of here. They don't have their phone near them. So I had to be like, all right, chill, chill, chill. In the end, he was fine. But there are all of these worries right now. Inflation. Some of the best ways to fight inflation is to have more control. So I've been looking into doing more work at home, remote work in general. Uh, and that has been a real thing because it just allows me to do a lot more. I'm not traveling anywhere where I have to worry about stuff. I'm not having to, you know, deal with all of these other things that might come up outside of my control. At least the place that I am, the place that I'm doing something, I have some control over, especially if I'm home. Or, for me, sometimes I like to go in cafes. Uh, Pretty safe overall. I mean, there's not a billion people in there, and I have my own internet, so it doesn't really matter to me in that manner. But I'm always really concerned about like what and how we can kind of do stuff that might be better. Um, and to watch what's happening inflation wise, that is really interesting. They are including ethanol, which is basically uh, corn fuel from corn. And they said it's not necessarily the best stuff to be burning, but we're going to start burning more of it just to lower the price of gas because of inflation. Uh,
Totally listen. I'm totally receiving everything you're saying.
guys, you guys.
Um,
So the crazy part is that the whole so, and I'm finding that it's probably a good idea to do these kind of things as they come up. Inflation is just basically cost of living rising for almost no reasons. I don't know, Marcus, have you seen the past couple of days where they've been talking about how the gas companies just raised their prices before the war started, which I kind of was like, wow. I don't know if you saw that story, or it's been a lot of really interesting stories lately. Um, Dealing with the market, dealing with people and how they're relating to each other, just things that I've been very, very, very aware of lately. Um, because the market is all about people, how people are relating to a thing, to the things that are happening around them. Because it means they buy more of something. I give you another one, Marcus. So in relation to news, and you talk about people being worried. So as a STEAM teacher, science, technology, engineering, art, math, I have access to all the computers. I have access to about 50 computers, about 50. And one of my jobs is to update all the computers. Chrome and Apple have been having update after update after update, one after another. Good that they're updating, but so there's that ETF I have, the cybersecurity one. Let me tell you how they're doing, which I was just kind of going, wow. I bought them last summer, so I've had them for a year and a half. It is called BUG. It's called Global X Cybersecurity. They're up 40% since I bought them.
wow.
They are probably my most profitable stock that I have bought in that time frame, because I bought about 6 of them.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my top overall ETFs. I find that really, sure, I can completely see that happening. But, the ones that, and these are companies, can I find this list? Let me see if I can find this list right now. I'm curious to see the list of companies that are listed under BUG.
Yeah. So I'm looking at Top Holdings, Palo Alto Networks. Wow. Okay. Checkpoint
Yeah.
Software Tech,
Yeah.
Fortinet, Incorporated. This is Tenable Holdings, CrowdStrike. That's huge. Yep.
Mhm.
Norton Life. That's another big one. Wow. Cellpoint, Trend Micro, Avast
Trend Micro.
PLC.
Okay, I see that. Yeah, so you see this kind of thing, and you look through the news and you realize the relation to the thing that is happening. I have been doing Chrome updates. I mean, 2 and 3 days away from each other repeatedly. And I'm proud of them for trying to keep up. I'm proud of Apple for trying to keep up. But it's just the amount of updates are just wow. These are patches to security problems, and the companies are catching up to them, which I think is great.
Yeah.
I had this whole thing that I was dealing with, because I work in this one, excuse me, what do you call it again? Antivirus called Kaspersky. And Kaspersky is owned by a Russian company. And oh my God, the State Department literally just said this a couple of days ago, and I was just going through my computer like, yo, I need to erase this thing right now, because I love this program. But because it's Russian, because it could be taken over or compromised in some kind of way, the American government has been issuing, be careful. You might want to take that program off of your computer. Um, I
Yeah.
I shut that computer down. I shut that computer down. I was like, nope, I don't need whatever is about to happen because they decided that it was a good idea to do a little hacking. Um, so yeah, the world has become a grittier place lately. And I've been very aware and watching to see how stuff has been going within the market. Even one of my golden boys, I've been watching it. I've been watching just take this. I was up $80 off of this, and they tanked, and they didn't tank in a bad way. They tanked in a way that it's a supply chain issue. It's Old Dominion. It's Old Dominion.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a supply.
Oh.
They're having. It's not necessarily that they're having supply chain issues, but people are saying that the reason that there is an inflation is because of supply chain and because they are charging more, and that's where that price projected is
Yeah.
coming. And it's
Yeah.
really
No,
kind of
that makes sense.
yeah, but it's one of those things that you just kind of like, wow, that is an amazing thing to see there. But for me, as this price goes down, I'm trying to
You're gonna
buy
buy
more.
more.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
buy
yeah, yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I'm trying to
but this
buy
is
more
like
now.
this is literally the part that I'm understanding more is that when people are fearful, that's when an opportunity is afoot. You know, the
Yeah,
opportunity is definitely right here.
yeah. It's being able to look at a situation and not think of it as being a terrible thing. I have a couple of different. Oh, hold on a second. I
No
typed that in
problem.
wrong. So I have a couple of different things that I invest in that have not been doing well, and I had to seriously ask myself, yo, am I up $51 today for real? Wait a second. So what's happening is that all of these different things that we hear about in the news and are what are actually happening, we can actually see it as it's going down because all of these things are just kind of like because people you hear in the news that they mention these things, but you don't make the correlation until it affects your pocket and you go,
Word.
what that is. So yeah, I've been watching all of the services. Like, I'm still trying to figure out Netflix charging $1 more. They're taking this in as like, oh, we need to start doing a little something, so we're gonna charge you guys an extra more. Like inflation and Netflix. Like, I understand Netflix always raises their prices every couple of months or whatever,
Yeah,
but their timing on this is just, nah, dude. What are you doing?
yeah, yeah. It leaves a bad flavor. You know,
Mhm.
like it feels like it's not necessarily. You're not thinking of your customers. You know.
Yeah, no, they're kind of going along with this, like, hey, we want this because there's no reason for them to make this. Yeah, wait a minute. I don't think I had a negative stock today, which makes me go, I need. Oh, and by the way, this is something that I was thinking about doing lately. People have been talking about inflation and everything, and people have been really worried and concerned about the stock market dropping. I have been wanting to put in stop loss for all of them across the board. All my stuff was positive. How much did I actually make? Wow. Wow. On the day, yeah. On the day, yeah. On the day was a positive by what's the percentage here? It's not giving me a percentage, but it looks like 2 to 3%, for a couple of these here. Wow. Yeah. So, but a couple of these have been doing really well. Um, I posted this in WhatsApp. All my majority of my metal stocks, majority of them. So I have TECK. They are a what's the description of that? They are a they're metals and company profile. Okay. TECK Resources Limited engages in exploring for acquiring and developing and producing natural resources in Asia, Europe, and North America. It operates through steelmaking, coal, copper, zinc, energy, cooperative segments. So yeah, I had again, this is a thing for me. I went through the periodic table. I tried to find metals that we would need because I knew we were using it for phones, we were using it for TVs. All the digital things that we need have all of these minerals that it needs to do that sort of thing. So TECK was one of the ones I found. I am up with them 7% since I bought them. And lately, they have been taking off. Let's see, for the past month, yeah, they've been wavering between like 35 and 43. But it's a steady course up. And I'm kind of happy to see because I knew metals would be a thing. I'm not so much into chemicals as much as I am into the actual natural mineral that we're getting. And it just automatically, I was like, yeah, I want what's happening there. And that one has done well. And it was cheap when I bought it. So, you know,
Yeah, no. This is a good, I like this one. I definitely do like this one right here.
Or even like, again,
look at it for the past year. You're up 100%. You know, if you look at it like a year ago, like you're up 100%.
Okay, so here, check this one out. And this is my benchmark. My benchmark for everything that I'm investing in is IAU. Take a look at that one. That is a gold. I think they're calling it a reserve. I don't know if I would call it a reserve. It's not so much a reserve as much as it is a. Let me see what their definition is. All right, hold on a second. No. Previous. Where is it? It is. So what I've been doing with IAU is I've been going in and I've been just, all right, so I want, oh, here it goes. Top ratings, quote, related, basic facts. No, not that one. Ownership. Nope, not that one. There's no profile on this one. Huh. Anyway, so IAU is for gold.
Yeah.
They're at 37.62 now. It is the one stock / ETF that has the majority of my money in it. Majority of my money. And I am always, it is a great reserve to keep money because gold, any money backed by gold is well taken care of. Because it's always good to have that physical currency. And you know, actually, I heard Elon Musk say this also. We talk about Elon in a second, but I want Elon Musk had mentioned a couple of days ago. He was like, "Hey, everybody should be investing in everything that would be physical." So he's kind of turned off by cryptos just by that sentence. He's kind of turned off by anything that would be non-physical. Even I would guess.
I see the point though. I really do. You know, I remember somebody actually said it on this podcast I was listening to, like that the dollar is actually in the sense of when we talk about like crypto, people think like non-traceable things like that. But if you think about the actual physical dollar, that's where it's actually non-traceable. You know, it is actually like, yeah. And so it's great. What that showed to me, like, there was some great value in having, of course, like, you know, something physical as opposed to something digital. You know, you can't beat the physical. You can't beat that.
No, and I've been just I completely understood what he meant, and it just meant something deeper for me because my two favorites is gold and silver. I've tried to do a couple other different ones, palladium, titanium, stuff like that. But gold and silver is the best. Copper's pretty good. Or even natural resources. I think I mentioned this one before, this ETF called CUT. CUT is very solid, CUT. It's very solid. It's not an extreme gain. It is a slow burn, which is nice.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it is a slow burn. And
Oh no, I was
is,
looking at it for the day. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
for the day it was going like in a
yeah,
good direction.
for the day it's up 10%.
Yeah.
But I've had quite a few of these for a while. I still think it's a really good price. It's 35.51 for real. And
Yeah,
it's basically investment in all lumber. Like
that's what I
what?
see. Yeah, yeah.
So so it's one of my favorites. It's one of the ones that I try to spend some time in.
Now, no, I think these are definitely some very like I wouldn't want to say interesting, but like I think these could really potentially be some really good long term plays because just see how the world is going just environmentally.
Yeah,
No, no,
we
I see it. I see the logic in it. No, it makes sense.
we have been we have been talking about how important certain things are for a while,
Hmm.
but no one's really acting on it. I thought it would be really nice to put money where mouth is, if that is the case. And I invested in lumber. I invested in wind technology. That ETF isn't doing very well, but another one that I would spend more time putting more money into, um, because I believe in that technology. I believe in the future of that technology.
Would you ever like is there like an indicator you're looking for to you like drop out of something to say, all right, well, I'm gonna just take my loss on this. Like, do you have any kind of
For
indicator for that?
for these particular
No,
ones,
just well, not necessarily for these, just like what in general, because that's how I feel a little bit. It's like whatever I kind of buy into, I'm just hold it and I'm gonna wait until it goes up. If I don't necessarily believe in it, after a certain time. But again, like I don't. What I need to work on a little bit more is having more of like a strategic plan in terms of like, all right, well, when do I like want to sell it? Like when do I, like kind of like really putting those time frames in mind to see like, all right, what do I really want to do? Like how do I really envision this company growing? And again, to the same point, like the stop loss, right? It's
right?
just like protection and safety.
Well, my stop losses are normally I try to get them at 10 to 15 because if my stop loss might be, let's say I have 50 shares of this one company, right? I
Mm-hmm.
have 50 shares of this one company and I see it going down. Now, mind you, the more amount of the stock that you have, when it takes that like dip, you
You
feel
gonna
it,
feel
boy.
it. Yeah.
It's like a oh.
Yeah.
And I'm always 10 to 15. 10 to 15 is a lot also, by the way. I
Yeah.
mean, just so everybody's clear, like what I'm saying, 10 to 15 is a lot. But I am just incrementally just taking away bites of that. If it's like, all right, it's down 5%. All right, maybe I take away 5 or 10 shares. Okay. It's
Yeah.
down. The minute it hits 15, I might have sold everything. And the reason being is that I'm protective in the idea that I'm gonna sell it at that 15% because now I want that new price with more shares. That's
I
my
like that
thought
logic.
process.
I like
And
it.
and it might be this thing where I kind of go like it's down 15. the minute it gets back up to like, let's say it's down 15, let's say 3%. And 3% I don't buy at all. 3% I buy half.
Hmm.
New level. I want
Yeah.
part of that new level. I just did that. Well, just so we're clear, I just did that with Under Armour. I
Mm.
saw what was happening. I saw it was happening. Let me see where
That's
they
a
are.
good thing. Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just that psychological part of pressing sell. I think
Mhm.
that's kind of like what I'm trying to get at. Is like there's definitely something like consciously about pressing buy and sell, and you really beholden to these things at times. You're like, oh man.
Mhm.
But to your point, the strategy is like, yeah, I'm selling, but I'm also going to buy back in.
Yes, because
Yeah.
I've already there's a couple of ETFs and stocks that I probably won't buy back into
Mhm.
because they were a play. But the majority of, and mind you, I've been picking these out lately, and I've been using. By the way, I've been using.
I'm looking at it. Hold on. Let me pull it back
Okay,
up.
I've
What's it
been
called
using it.
again?
Composer.
Yes,
I've
Composer. Yep.
I've been using Composer, and that is an amazing program. Shoot, I gotta make them an affiliate for when I'm done with. I gotta make them. Yo, I don't think you understand. It's like I'm over here picking now, mind you, and the reason that I'm even mentioning Composer, just so we're clear, is because I
Mhm.
was in the program and I was using my benchmark, which is IAU against all of the other my best picks
Mhm.
that I've gotten so far. Example of my best picks. TECK.
Yeah, I like that.
What's my other best pick? LIT. That's for batteries.
Mhm.
PICK. That is also for metals. CUT, like I just told you about. That's 4.
Mhm.
Uh, Jets is still my good pick. I'm down. I'm overall down 0.38% with them right now. But
You
Jets
talking?
is
You're not talking about Old Dominion, right?
no JETS is what I'm talking about right now.
Okay.
Jets is a ETF for the airline companies who have also jacked up their prices because, and they're claiming because, well, fuel
Is it
costs more,
gas? Yep, I knew it. I knew
you
it.
know, and but I still
Yeah,
believe in the idea that it is spring, summer is coming, these stocks are going to do well,
traveling. Yeah,
you
people
know.
gonna be traveling. Yeah, for sure.
Um, Old Dominion is still on my list as I will continue to keep throwing them money.
Yeah, I'm about to say like that's what I'm expecting to hear Old Dominion as like one of
No,
those.
well, there's a lot of stocks that have had a weird time right now. Gaming stocks have had a hard time right now. I've been
True.
the two
Gaming
gaming.
cryptos, like is like one of those spaces that I really, really, really be looking at. Crypto is definitely going through a whole new phase as of right now.
I see that.
It's getting but I do think the projects that are solid that come out on the other side of this,
Well,
telling you, telling you, the
did you
projects that show use case, the project that shows that we're here. Like there's certain projects that I do keep an eye on. One, I'm gonna look into it a little bit more again, but it's called Meta Hero. Meta Hero is
Mhm.
basically, you ever saw Ready Player One?
Yeah. Well, what's
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So Ready is it's essentially creating that kind of technology.
Hmm.
Where they are able to literally put you into the game. You can kind of like create avatars, and they'll look just like the characters we see, like whether it's like Batman, whether it's like Superman, whatever like superhero you could think of, you could like put those literal characters in the game, and you can put yourself in the game. It's just like this whole ecosystem that I feel like they're working on the technology that people want to see. And then they actually have this whole system too, where you walk into this chamber in a sense, or like a studio with like hundreds of cameras all around you. And so, and then they take a picture of you, and it's this whole process of how they embed you into the game. But that's also their own technology. They have that, they have that kind of secured, not other companies, so that kind of puts them in a different bucket. But yeah, man. So like, certain little projects.
Yeah, I like those ideas of things. I'm still waiting to hear the idea that I think would bring everybody in. The idea that you could, the idea of bringing yourself in is like, I'm Batman. It's like, oh, that's kind of dope. But overall, I don't think that's going to bring everybody else in. I think that's going to be like, interesting, but it's not going to be like I want to be in there for that.
I like that. Yeah.
So
I do agree with that.
Wait, let's back up. So exit strategies. There's certain ones that I know I have to put in exit strategies, and those are the ones that I just kind of, I don't want to say I bought them for, sentimental reasons, but there's a little bit of sentiment in there, and I have to be aware. So I'll give you an example. Zoomies. Okay, well, hold on a second. Zoomies. Zoomies is reply. Come on in. Somebody's might be visiting us in a second.
Okay.
So Zoomies. Zoomies is ZUMZ. Zoomies is a, I very much, I like the store. Is it the best idea? Zoomies is a store made for extreme sports kids, skaters, mostly skaters.
Yep.
My son is a skater. I very much like the store and what they were able to give to him. So I was like, and, living in Brooklyn, there's a lot of little skate shops, but the Zoomies is the one that was easier to find at first. So I invested in Zoomies. I am down on Zoomies 21%.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I can fully see like setting up something and just being, and I bought this for him. I bought this for him so that I could probably pass this down to him. But as time goes on, it's less likely that I might be investing into Zoomies. As much as I enjoy Zoomies in its own way, it's just kind of one of those like, nope. And I have two gaming ETFs also, GAMR and Nerd. And between the two of them, they have been getting beat down also. Percentage wise.
Do you think it's because of the chip shortage that's going on?
We can claim that. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think it has a lot more to do with people emphasizing security above gaming right now. And it's not that it's one or the other. It's just the fact that people are more concerned about security than these kind of things. And it's not necessarily people aren't using it. This is the market's reaction to what it sees, and that's part of what's happening. And when you look at this sort of thing, you have to be very aware that this is people putting their money where their mouth is in terms of understanding, where they think the future is coming. And it's not necessarily that it's non-gaming. It's just like people a little bit more fearful of, what's happening in cybersecurity more than gaming.
Yeah,
people are still gaming. They're still trying to get their stuff in, whatever. But right now, the emphasis, not by looking at my portfolio, but by looking at a bunch of different things that are within the sphere of computing, it's been heavily into security. Heavily. I think it has a lot more to do with the war. This kind of leads into this conversation. This is kind of funny. This kind of leads into this conversation. So Elon thought it would be a great idea. He's been buying, what is it, 4.9 billion dollars worth of Twitter.
Well, yep, Twitter.
He's that's owning shareholders, but
Yeah.
you know, he's the person that owns the most amount of the company. And normally when that happens, they say like, "Hey, would you like to be part of the board?"
Yep.
In the
He said
end,
yes. Yeah, he said yes at first, and then he gonna do what he does, troll.
right? But you understand. I don't know. I understood what happened, and every news report that I heard was like, "Well, I don't know what that means." I was like, "I know what that means." What he did was is he said, "Well, Elon is no longer considering himself to be part of the board," and then Elon's response on Twitter was, it was an emoji with the
There's an
mouth,
emoji.
and I kind of went, "He's trying to
Yo,
protect his investment. He
yeah,
knows he needs to
yeah.
shut the fuck up. He just knows he needs
Yo,
to shut up. That's all that was."
he has so much like money that he knows he's a like a big fish in the pond. He knows it and he uses it as leverage. And I feel the one thing that investors didn't have in the past was social media. And he's leveraging social media
Hard,
100%. Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
I,
And
I
he has the influence. He has it.
I appreciate what he's doing. What he's doing is he's
Yeah,
figuring
same.
out that I have this influence. If he's recognized what he's been able to do in terms of pushing Tesla stock,
Hmm.
but he's been a hindrance in some ways. Anytime he says anything, the Tesla stock is doing real well, and then he'll say something, and then they'll be like, "Well, we're not sure." He with the Twitter thing. He's being safe. He's being he's realizing himself as being a security risk, basically.
Yeah.
I need to shut up. I need to not say everything that is on my mind at the moment. He understands that, and that's what the cover the mouth meant. It's like, oh, look, I'm gonna shut up. I don't need to be on the
Well,
board. I'm owning shareholder. Everything that goes down, kind of, I get full, disclosure of what's going on. So it's all good. I can just shut up, make my money, and then if I need to, I can buy everybody outright. But I'm good where I'm at right now. I don't have to. He's recognizing he doesn't have to be a shark all the time.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly. You know
um,
what? One thing I heard from Jim Carrey
what?
that I found interesting, actually, he said that he has enough, and that's why he's thinking about retiring from acting, unless like a major role kind of comes in. And I kind of found that a little bit profound. He's like a lot of people may not say this, but I have enough. You know.
Yeah. Well, I had the same question. I had the same
Hmm.
question, but different actor.
Hmm.
Actors. I find that these two guys, in the fact that these guys know each other, I find it really kind of like I don't know what this means. When is it enough for The Rock? And this is this is not me saying like, yo, your movies suck. But Red, whatever that shit was terrible, first off. Um,
Oh, I totally read notice or something like that.
yeah,
Yo,
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
on a 100% on the same page. I was like, what? What is this? I was like, actually expecting something much better. And that other guy
Especially
who's
with
also
Ryan.
acting, yo,
Especially
he's
with
in
Ryan.
everything too. He's in everything. You know what I just found out? I'm like,
What?
wait, he was in Blade Trinity? I was like,
Yes. Yes.
I didn't even remember that.
Yes.
I was like, I'm like, all right, man. He gained some more respect for me though, actually.
Ryan is my boy.
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds is my boy, for real. Um,
yeah.
but but you look at Rock and then you look at Kevin Hart. These two guys. These two guys are in too much stuff. My question is, my question is, when is it going to be done, guys? Take a like Rock. As a personality, as a person, as this thing that's supposed to be larger than
Yeah,
life. I very much like him. I very much like his energy. Kevin,
same.
sometimes his comedy is here, sometimes his comedy is
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
I'm kind of
I
I'm kind of
agree.
level. So my problem is that why are you guys doing so much?
Yeah,
Do
but
you?
but you know what? I like Kevin Hart's hustle.
Yes.
That's what it
Yeah.
is. Like he definitely has a hustle about him that you got to just kind of respect. And but that's the marketing game, though. You got to put yourself out there. You got to oversaturate the market. You got to let them know like what's going on. You
Right.
know.
And I feel the same way about both of them. I feel like, and I understand
Hmm.
oversaturating the market, doing all those
Yeah,
different
yeah,
things,
yeah.
but to what
Hmm.
end?
That's
What
true.
what's your end to this? It's like Jim Carrey. I do appreciate him saying that, and I think that he has become a real thinker and recognizing where and I can say the same thing about Mike Tyson also. A real
Ooh,
thinker, knowing
good one.
where
Yes.
his parameters are and working within those parameters. I
Hmm.
really start to question somebody like a Dwayne Johnson, like a Kevin Hart. Like, what are you guys doing this for? Ryan Reynolds, I can see it because he's seriously doing it for jokes.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah. Yeah.
seriously
Yeah.
doing it for jokes.
Kevin Hart, he's trying to expand and broaden, you know, his acting career a little bit. I feel like,
Okay.
which I understand though too.
Mhm. But so what's The Rock doing it for then?
Now, yeah, the Rock though, yeah, I don't know. The Rock trying to be the president.
But that conversation has been had. That conversation has been had quite a few times. And I'm going to say this: if Trump is running,
Mhm.
long live Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Let's
Yo,
let's say that
yo,
way.
I'm telling you, there's everything like the floodgates have opened ever since, in my opinion, since Trump won. I think everybody has a shot. Technically, everybody has a
Yes,
shot. Not to say like like there's no qualifications, but the qualification though is that can you influence people? Can you get people buy-in? And from what we understand now, especially with social media, everybody has influence.
right.
A lot,
Um,
but especially on that platform of being in media, being of course, you could yield more success.
the whole Trump thing I find really interesting because it was, you know, amongst black leaders, I always hear them say this like, well, anybody can be president now. I mean, well, and it's for me, it was always the bar had been raised so high with um, Obama that the only place it could go was down after that. The only place it can go was down. So, but it just makes me wonder, like, what are some of these people doing this for? I know what I'm doing this for. You know, I'm doing this for my future, my son's future. Um, The Rock, he
Yeah,
could,
that's
he
true.
could,
Yeah, it's
he could
about legacy so much for me. I ain't gonna lie, it really is about legacy.
yeah, because like I was saying, my family has a family house. We have a family house for a reason. We are immigrants. My family immigrated here from Panama. I was literally the first American-born child.
Wow,
Yeah, so it's
I didn't know you was from Panama.
yeah, man.
Wow, what the?
Yeah, man. So when it comes down to a lot of this stuff,
No, a
I
couple folks. I know a
understand.
couple folks from Panama.
Say
Always been good vibes with Panama. Always been a good
Oh,
vibes with my Panamanians. Seriously though, seriously, yeah.
I hear you. It's one of those things where so I'll give you the rundown. So my mom uh, built a house in Panama, and that is the family house. Anybody that comes into Panama goes to my mom's house. Um, so yeah, same idea in New York.
Hmm.
Um, there's a few of them for me, but we try to take care of each other in whatever which way we can. And financially is a great way to do it. But it is the most important way to do it. But you look at like some of these guys, some of these celebrities. When is enough enough? I think Elon, and this is why I really love this dude. He's not doing it for any of those reasons. I still hear about stories about this dude still now sleeping on the warehouse floor, not the but
Yeah.
the line.
Yeah, he stays grounded. You gotta stay grounded. You gotta stay grounded. I think he definitely does a good job at doing that. I think social media also kind of helps out with that too. And but also what I was thinking, like, I think you stayed, I guess keep immersing yourself up until you're not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
I guess, I think naturally, us as a people, the culture, we kind of let somebody know when the curtain is closing on you,
It's true. Well, we always allow like a second bow.
Yes.
We
Yes.
always allow a second bow.
Hmm.
Perfect example, and so strange. The past few weeks and months have been so strange. So, who died yesterday was Gilbert Godfrey, which I was like, "Do you know Gilbert Godfrey? Go take a look."
Gilbert.
I've always loved this dude. This dude is just so over the top. But he died, and what I thought was really interesting is that he's at yeah. So
What?
so he's had these iterations where he's come up.
Often overlooked disease. What?
What disease did they
What?
what disease did they list him as having? I didn't see that part.
I'm looking now.
Okay. But he had his second act a couple of years ago. I guess they knew that he was sick because he's been sick for a while, and he died yesterday. And
A rare genetic muscle disorder.
wow.
Had type 2 myotonic dystrophy, a kind of muscular dystrophy.
Oh, so he must have lost control over his bodily function at some point and just died. That's what it sounds like. Because muscular dystrophy, that's the thing that the brain has no control over basic function after a while, and then so like heartbeats or like
Yeah, it says,
breathing.
wow, yep. Symptoms of the disease, such as breathing or heart muscle weakness,
Yeah,
tend to develop more as people age.
yeah. I had cousins that died from muscular dystrophy, so I know of the problem, ailment. So yeah, it's one of those things that
Was
just
it
be.
like he plays a lot of different roles? That's crazy. Wow.
I mean, like when you think for me, I think of Gilbert Godfrey during the '80s for me,
Hmm.
and he was in a Beastie Boys a music video. He's done a lot of like really weird parts in like comedies and action movies. So for me, I have a long history with this dude because he's hard to miss with that voice.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
like all that. So it's just
That's exactly what I hear.
so yeah, we allow second acts. He had his Gilbert Godfrey before I think about maybe before the pandemic a couple of years ago. He had like his second curtain call where people would kind of just pull him in and do stuff, and I think they knew he was going to die. So,
Mm.
but the Elon stuff,
Yeah.
the metal stuff, there was something
Yep.
else I wanted to talk about. Hold on one second. Sorry while I think. Uh oh, do you hear your boy Robin Hood?
What's going on? What's going on with Robin Hood?
Okay, so Robin Hood adds new crypto tokens to its trading platform. So
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna dig a little deeper into crypto through Robinhood because they have the most, it seems, access to a major platform where it's outside of Coinbase.
Yeah, I don't I understand the logic with that as well. That makes sense.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
and those cryptos are vetted. You know, like as in they, there's a lot of red tape with getting certain cryptos approved. You know, Coinbase is like one that has like a couple more cryptos you can buy, but
Mhm.
those that are on like Cash App, those that are on now Robinhood, I think they have a little bit more of a vetting done.
All right. So check this out. Robinhood added trading in four new tokens earlier this week, further expanding further into the world of crypto. The stock and crypto trading app now supports Compound, COMP, Polygon,
Oh,
MAT.
Polygon is a good one.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, it's a popular one, I would say.
There's a lot of them that I haven't spent a lot of time on just yet because I don't know how they're connected. And I told you, part of my problem with crypto is watching and recognizing that there is no set thing that is making the numbers go up or down. The minute anyone has a conversation about it is when it moves. And that's what I find just
It's
wow.
because crypto has a lot of whales. Has a lot of whales in it. You know, then you
Mhm.
got a small few who own a lot, and they manipulate the market. You know, and
Absolutely.
that's what it is. It's just like that's the reality behind it. So big money is making money. You know, the retail investor
Mhm.
is gonna have to be very strategic, and then also use the tool of holding long term as a hedge. So
Yes. Yes to that
it's long
specifically.
term. It's long term. Long term is the way.
All right, so wait, the stock crypto trading app now supports Compound, COMP, Polygon, MATIC, Solana, SOL, and my favorite, the meme coin Shiba Inu, SHIB, bringing the total number of crypto assets traded on the platform to 11, far
Listen,
less
man.
than.
Shiba
Wait,
Inu better go to a penny. They better do that. Make it go to a penny, man. I
wait,
bought it. I
so
bought it at a high. I bought it at a high, man.
you
I
put it
should
at a
have
high.
never.
See, and this comes down to that thing I was telling you about. Have the amount of shares you have and when it goes down and knowing when bottom is. And maybe if you believe in the thing, you see it
Yeah.
go to a lower number, cut it and buy it again
Yep.
because that's beneficial.
That's true. It's true. It's very, very, very true. Yeah.
Oh wait,
I've waited too long. I feel like it's like to do it
hey
now,
man,
it wouldn't
I'm
be
still
beneficial.
mad at Doge a little bit, but I won't. I'm not ready to cut and buy again. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still feeling out, and with Doge is really interesting because I'm feeling out where the curve is right now. But
Ye-
I do need, but I do need stop losses on everything.
yeah. People are
Um,
day trading it though. You know, that's kind of how people are using these stocks, all these cryptos, these coins. They're day trading them, and it's going up, it's going down. And that's why it just continues to level out in the way it does. You know,
mhm.
like I do see. I think it's a long term hold. I think long term is like 5 years, and I do think holding those coins for like 5 years from now would be something to consider.
What do you think is going to be the profit percentage wise? You think it's going to be five? You think it's going to be three?
I think with I think with the influx of people who may start to like be adopted into the crypto space,
Mhm.
you know, I think one there's like two sides of the coin. You know, is Shiba Inu, are they going to have some more use case? Are they going to have some more value? Because that's what it is. Everybody's looking at, all right, what can you do? Like, what's the purpose? Like, you know, and
Yeah.
so there needs to be some kind of use case that's implemented. But then also there's like like a trillion or something like that Shiba Inu coins. Like there's a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah.
it. So they need to burn it. They need to create less of the coin itself so it can, have some more value. And so they have these different methods in how they're doing burning. They call it like wallet burns. And so where they're eliminating the like the I guess like the overall number of the coins to ship.
Volume.
But yeah, volume. But I don't I think it could I'm hopeful that it will go up, into like the penny range, around there. That right there is gonna, make a lot of people. It's gonna make a lot of people a lot of money if they hold, But that's also kind of why I doubt it too.
Well, check this out. Shiba Inu will bring in the total number of crypto assets traded on the platform to 11, far less than what most crypto native exchanges offer. And that's what I was saying, far less, yeah. But I think, and this is to Robinhood's advantage. I think at this point, there are too many, and they are hard to figure out what each one is for. I am not doubting that there's a need for as many as there are, but it's hard to judge, wheat from the chaff, as they say. And if they're going to pick out for you in that way, it's helpful. I don't necessarily think it's the greatest idea. You want the most amount of diversity in what you're able to, but at the same time, it's like, I'm really interested in Polygon now. I'm curious of what that is. What is Polygon trading at right now, actually?
I'm trying to look at it too. But the thing with SHIB is that I went against my better judgment. That's the other part as well. I understood this was a meme coin. I understood like what's the use case of it. I understood these things. I kind of bought into the hype a little bit. There was this crypto like era that was going on. That's what they do. I'm telling you, like this, I've learned through trial and error. And so it is really like when you're hearing a lot of people talking about it, 9 times out of 10, that's when you probably shouldn't buy.
Right.
You probably shouldn't buy at that point,
Right. I have a couple of them that I'm real mad at that I did that for. But I think a lot of times the lesson is more important than the loss of money.
Exactly. I totally agree. And that's how I take it. I take it truly as a lesson.
Well, and that's why I'm kind of curious, like, well, how much is Polygon selling for? Because what am I down right now in Robinhood for Doge? Let me see something. I think I'm down like $5 maybe. But the amount of money that I have in it is like, let's see, Doge.
Wait, what? Polygon is at $1.43.
$1.43.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind. I'll throw like $20 at it if that's the case.
Like it also. Let me see. It's been ranging from there. Okay.
So yeah, I am negative 26%, $5.26 in Doge. I don't have a lot in there. I'd like to keep all the money that I have in there, but but at the same time, it's just one of those like, down negative 26%. It's like, come on, man.
I also think it's also too, right? I think these coins, these meme coins especially, they really might develop some more use case out of it, but it's also that's the realm of crypto. It's also a space of creatives and how can you create use case of these types of coins. And that's what I think people aren't really aware of how can they make crypto, NFTs, things like that a part of their day-to-day.
Yeah, well, they're still so new.
But that's my point. I think that's why you got to hold it for like 5 years. You got to hold it for a little bit for it to kind of gain some more like momentum.
Anything that's new is going to
Yeah.
need that kind of help or patience.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that Bitcoin did what it did. I'm not shocked by it, but I'm kind of find it interesting. It's kind of like
Where's Bitcoin at?
oh, they are. Let me see. I know.
Oh, okay. Okay. 41,000.
Oh, they had little rope whip right there today. Oh, okay, jumped a little bit more.
Yeah. I remember when that thing was about to touch that 70 mark. I was like,
Yeah,
what? And then
yeah.
that drop was serious. 70,000 to 35?
Well, what was the number that we said that they were aiming? They were saying it was going to aim for 30.
100. Oh, you like even? Oh, you talking about even going lower than that?
Yeah, the even
Yeah,
out
yeah,
number.
yeah, yeah. I was hearing 30 though. You know, that was kind of like the resistance level.
Right. $41,000. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I just find that number to be like real, but at the same time, it's like, why would I want to buy Bitcoin? I mean, I feel like that number needs to be lower, and that's me as an investor. I'm not saying that Bitcoin couldn't go higher. Me as an investor, kind of go like, that's way too much. That's
Yeah, yeah.
that's Berkshire half. That's above Berkshire Hathaway number.
Exactly. Like I'm telling you, this is again. It goes to the point of who owns the Bitcoin. You know, because it's not. It's like it's it's so much into it as well when you think of the long term holders of Bitcoin, people who bought in like
Mhm.
at its early stages,
Yeah.
like they're doing good right now. And I know people who well I've heard like from like podcasting like that, people who have bought in that early, like they're truly good. Like
No,
they're
I know friends who bought
mhm,
early and bought
mhm.
houses. So yes,
Yeah.
I know. I was when I heard about it, I was thoroughly irritated, thoroughly bothered, thoroughly like, and this is to my friends. You guys know what I mean. It was a I had this tinge of like jealousy, like FOMO. I missed out. Ooh, why didn't y'all tell me? It was one of those things where it was just kind of like, why is anybody telling me what's going
Yeah.
on as it's going on? I mean, I get it. We busy and blah blah blah, but jeez.
Listen,
Uh,
but sometimes people don't hear you. You know, that's the thing. I feel like I've encountered. I'm
maybe I didn't.
consistently talking to people about financial literacy,
Yeah.
understanding the stock market, and I think people overlook it. Up until it's like it's too late in a sense. Like, oh, where? Like now now I'm at a step. You know, like 30, right? I've advanced in this journey,
Mhm.
but when I was at step 5, I was trying to talk to you. I was trying to put you on game.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because there's a certain level of this understanding and having the opportunity to be able to invest and save in some kind of way. Um, as everybody, there's a moment of stagnation, there's a moment of pullback, there's a moment. So it's like everybody's in these different stages. But when I look at Bitcoin, I just kind of go like, God damn it, man. Couldn't anybody say anything? Like let me know. Because I mean, what was I doing at that particular time? Well, that was I was doing a lot of parenting during that time, so I might have missed out a little bit.
Yeah, like was you tapped in? Was you tapped in like as you are now, like with investing?
No, I think I'm so much more heavily into it now, and I'm trying to. And Zoomies is a great example. Zoomies is a stock that I bought to try to get my son into it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's him at a certain age, and that's how that worked. Um, Before I was in, but I was just getting pieces of stuff. I'm always into the news. I'm always into not necessarily financial reports, but just where my favorite companies are going. And I'm always just kind of going like, oh, look at that. That's interesting. That's interesting. But having the wherewithal to want to invest in them and knowing enough information about them, the language of buying stocks sometimes it's off-putting, and people have difficulty understanding what those things are. And sometimes I hear it, I know what's being said, but it's like volume. Okay, cool, I know what volume is, whatever. And then someone will say something else about like the PE ratio, and I'm just kind of going like, I gotta go look that up. I don't know
Yeah,
what that,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I've seen it before, but I don't know what that is.
I don't remember what it's actually for, but for me, a lot of times it's looking at that company, what they do. If I believe in what they do, and that I can see a future in the thing that they do, I am in. Um, perfect cut the natural resources. I'm a teacher. I deal in paper. Okay. First off, not only am I a teacher, but I'm a teacher, and then I send my kids to the bathroom. Toilet paper, yes. Uh, I believe in. I love like this thing right now is on a wood. The computer right now is on a wooden table. Yeah, I like natural stuff. I'm gonna invest into wood. I'm gonna invest into paper. I'm gonna invest into to. Go ahead.
But I would say with paper though, what I think of, it's like I be seeing, like I think of like your bank, right? Oh, we would now want to go paperless, things
Nope.
like that.
Nope.
But
I mean, like, but I look at those kind of things, and okay, I'll give you an example. We stopped selling records. Records. Okay. I think it was that. I think it was maybe like 80. No, it was like 2000s, let's say. Records was going out of fashion. People were like, we ain't buying no records. There's no reason for records. Blah, blah, blah. What I've heard in the past few months is that records are outselling MP3s outright.
But
And
it's just the vibe. It's like I think it's like a whole aesthetic thing, though. Like
right.
people want to just kind of curate that little old school vibe. It does kind of connect you a little more. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Yes.
But at the same time, everybody wants their experience. They want an experience. So when we talk about paper and people wanting to go paperless, it doesn't mean that we're not using paper. It means that we're using paper differently, and we're valuing paper more. So, I find really interesting. My girlfriend was like, "Yo, let's go." Like I saw a record shop. I was like, "Yo, okay, I'm kind of curious to see what's in the record shop." She's like, "No, I want to buy stuff." I'm like, "Wow, okay." I want to be there also, but it's like I'm not there, but I understand the value of it, because now when you walk into that record shop, you see those records, and it's like $40, $80, $80 for the Al Green. You know what I mean? $40 for like like the hot shit from the 80s, if that's the case. What was it that we saw? We saw one record that I was like, wow, okay. But it was like $50. It's like, okay, I had that record. Did I find that record? Probably somewhere, but geez, I had that record. That record's $50 now.
Yeah, my dad would kill me, but I believe I was cleaning out one of the closets, saw some records. I was just being impatient. I threw them away, man.
Well, see, Marcus.
That is some Pokemon cards, a binder of Pokemon cards.
You cannot say that in my school. And I find, what's funny? what's funny is that when my son started to get into Pokemon, might have been 6 years ago.
Hmm.
And my brother, because my brother and I were collecting cards, like baseball cards and stuff like that, and comic books. So
Mhm.
I had learned from then. I was like, you know what? I don't necessarily value these Pokemon cards, but let's put these in a book, like
Yeah.
with slots to put in and stuff.
Hmm.
He still has that stuff. He still has it, you know?
Nah, that's something good to hold on to. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. But this is the case of having places that you can keep things. Having places you can keep important things is a big
Hmm.
deal. And I've been really kind of into that idea right now. In the closet to my to my to my left, to your right. For you, it's the right. For me, it's left.
Hmm.
Is about easily might be about 700 comics in there. My
Ooh.
cousin, my cousin was an addict, an addict of
In
prestige.
mint condition.
There's a good amount that are in mint condition. I'm still digging through, trying to figure out which ones are the
Yeah, some
ones.
of you gotta just hold. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
But
That's something that sometimes you don't even want to sell. Like you just actually just really want to just hold on to it. You know.
well, for me, with some of his stuff, I kind of look at it like I need to find somebody that wants to buy the bulk
Yeah.
because I mean it takes up the majority of the closet here, and I'm not complaining. I am not trying to get rid of this at all, but it's really
Yeah.
interesting to have these things as a legacy. I'm looking through comics like, damn, like he had gotten me into it, and he's older than me, so his collection starts in the '60s,
Mm.
and I don't mean like mid '60s, I mean early '60s. So like, there's some X-Men in there, and I'm talking about like when it started. Okay. There's quite a few other ones that I just kind of look at like, wow, okay. I know there's gonna be a lot of Fantastic Four in there. He's big into Marvel, but he has a lot of good amount of DC. And
Mm.
some of these are intros of characters that we consider classic. I'm not gonna mention them because it's just not worth it. But yeah, some of these are just like classic, like wow, okay, cool. So you know, those kind of things, this is an investment. And it's really important and nice to have a place that
Yeah.
you can have for those things. Um, I like the fact that, they're sitting here and I can read them. I can read them. I can like, hey, kind of mess around with them and kind of see like, how it kind of fits. Just great. So I have no complaints.
Oh,
And mind you, there are different places in here that I find comics, but that's what's up.
no. There was something I heard about. Basically, somebody created. They couldn't go to this basketball game anymore, right?
Okay.
They had courtside seats to the Brooklyn Nets game where Kyrie Irving was coming back, playing with the Nets, right?
Okay. After his
And,
absence.
yep.
Uh-huh.
And the guy could no longer, make the event. So he was like, "Oh, I wanted to sell his ticket." He wanted to sell his ticket,
Mhm.
and he was thinking of like taking a traditional route of going like StubHub, something like that way. But mind you, this is hours before the event too,
An hour
and so
before?
a couple hours,
Okay.
maybe like let's like 4 hours, 4 hours
Okay.
before it. Still not that much time, right?
Mhm.
But so his friend, shout out to the guy 19 Keys, he had an idea to basically make the ticket an NFT and to sell it that way.
Oh.
And so he was able to sell his ticket for the price that that it was worth. Not no, he didn't give no commission to StubHub, nothing like that. Received all of that money for it, and then the person was able to take advantage of the ticket itself. So
Right.
it's like showed use case of how you can use like NFTs. Like I would love for you to like take a look at like that story, because when I heard about it, it just shows you, how you're able to use NFTs now for day-to-day things, like for these transactions that kind of cuts out the middleman, and the middleman being in this case StubHub. You could do very direct interaction transactions with people, without having to go through these sources, with it still being legitimate as well.
Send me that story, first part. But second, I have heard so many bad, horrific stories about
Sure.
about Ticketmaster, about
Oh.
about all of those guys and how they just sell tickets overall.
Mm.
I am waiting for someone to take someone. If NFTs take down the entire ticket agency business, so be it. Because as it is now, for me, I'm a musician. I have a hard time with the record industry, but the ticket selling agency where people go to see them in concert, just as equally bad, in the way that they treat all of these people and how they make their money. It's just terrible.
No, I agree.
So I'm always just kind of very aware of like where, if we can circumvent that in any particular way, let's go. Let's go. I will cheer that on, because if I can give the money directly to the artist and then the artist pays the venue, it's all good. Because I think of some of these guys, and they got put out of business from dealing with ticket agencies, from dealing with companies. Just a lot of it's just crazy and just not needed.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like the prices have been put beyond reach of the actual people that are into the artist. And with so many things happening within inflation, it'd be nice to be able to cut down on all these other things that are in our way,
Yeah. No, totally agree. And so I thought I was just interested in like use case of it. And so again, you got to be kind of creative and just have that know-how of like, oh, I could actually have an opportunity here, to create an NFT and to sell it. Like I thought it was very creative, very, very creative. I don't fully understand all of it yet, but it makes me that there's opportunities out there still. Again, you just got to be nimble enough to kind of see that there is that opportunity, and then just also know how to do it too.
Well, I think a lot of times as these things come up in, we always have to have a new level of understanding of something so that we feel comfortable enough to be able to kind of get into them.
Yeah.
And NFTs, I almost feel like I should be making a ton of them. But I'm still, I hear, well, I hear the double sides of different ideas and thoughts people have about different dealing with NFTs, and it's very interesting to me in a lot of different ways. I need to spend more time with it so that I feel more comfortable in making them, doing them, creating them in all the ways that I would like to. I think I'm gonna spend some time maybe this summer doing that, because usefulness, like I want to read this story, but usefulness overall, in dealing with the blockchain. I've invested a lot of money in the blockchain already. I've invested some money in the blockchain already. Actually, let me just see something. BLOK. Take a look at that one.
Block.
Yeah, I gotta get ready to go, but I want to see this.
Yeah.
Block is literally investing in the blockchain. Yeah, here he goes. $30. 30.67 for the past 6 months. Wow. Okay, for the past 6 months, they are down. They were at 48 and they're at 30 right now.
Yep.
This is one of the ones that I held. 'Cause I wanted to watch it. I wanted to see where it was going.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. But it also makes sense too as to why it's going down as of right now, this particular time.
Mhm.
You know, I do think this is one of those hold situations.
Well, did you look at the ranges? The ranges are what I find really interesting. And this doesn't mean that I'm going to invest in it now, but it says the 52-week range is between
64.
29.01 and
Yes.
64.91. So you're
Yes.
telling me it is a dollar away from its lowest price in a year, and that the day's range is 29.82 to 30.77. You telling me it is at its highest price in a year, in the in the in the day? Like what's going on right now? Like, okay, I'm gonna sit on this one and I'm gonna see where it goes in the next couple of days, because this is in the day it's at its highest price, but in the past 52 weeks it is at its lowest. Is it turning?
It has top 10 holdings, Silvergate Cap,
Mhm.
CME Group, Nvidia Corporation,
Yeah,
MicroStrategy, SBI
Square,
Holdings,
Scott Square,
yep,
Marathon
Coinbase.
Digital, mm-hmm. Pay, PayPal. It's got PayPal.
Hmm.
But you see these kind of things, you go, okay. Financial services, 43%. Technology, 38%. Communication services, 4. Consumer cyclical, 5. And everything else is empty. um, right, right. Yeah, I see Nvidia, I see Silvergate, Hive, Blockchain Technologies, Digital Garage, Galaxy Digital Holdings, Voyager, Marathon, Square, PayPal, and MicroStrategies. Um, Interesting. Yeah, it just reminded me because this is particular ETF deals in the blockchain. You know, this seems like a great time to invest in them.
Yeah,
It seems like. I mean, I want to go through the rest of the financials and everything like that. But when I look at that kind of thing, and it's been down and taking a beating for the year, it's negative 24%. Oh, year to date is negative 24. For the year, it's negative 39.
but sometimes I feel, yeah, it's definitely looking at the technicals with this. Because I think a point of resistance though is this 52-week low.
Yeah.
Because if it goes like past that, it should be bottoming out. That's how I feel.
Well, I'm gonna tell you how I look at this, and this is my particular take on this. So look, I'm gonna look at the max right now, right? So if I look at the max and I say, all right, it started at 2090, okay? It broke even July 6, 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. It hit its high February 15th, 2021, and November 1st, 2021. It's doing this little whiplash. So if I look at that correctly, I
Mhm.
could say that it probably just bottomed itself out, because everybody's been looking at it for the past year. But if you go back a little bit further, you recognize it was much lower. And
Yep.
blockchain is only getting more and more pervasive. When we talk
Yep.
about that, like I told you, I very much love Square, uh,
Mhm.
but Square and PayPal and MicroStrategies, these are heavy hitters in this industry. Um, sure, as an ETF, overall, that industry is going to keep going up. Right now, it's at a stagnation because we're looking at inflation and people don't know how to use cryptocurrency for this sort of thing yet.
Yep.
So yeah, I can completely see where this would be taking this dip. Um, Unfortunately, we're at a point in the market cycle where everybody's just watching everybody else, and no one's willing to make a move. It's a really weird game of chess happening right now, which I understand. I I have no question in understanding. It's just kind of one of those like, hey, anybody gonna make an innovation? Go for it. Go for it. Hey, you got an idea? Go for it. Let's see what happens. It might not be everything you expect it to be, but it'll be a jump that everybody needs to feel like we're moving forward. And I think that's where we're kind of a little stuck right now. We're stuck in the idea that, I haven't seen him move. Is he moving? Um, and so everybody's trying to jack their prices up in inflation just to kind of make ends meet rather than innovating in any particular way that would be of benefit to everyone. That's what it seems like to me. I could be wrong in that manner, but it's just the way that I'm looking at it right now is a great time to invest and not be too particularly afraid of what's happening if you believe in what you believe in. That's why the Teslas of the world are doing so well right now. I have some money invested in Tesla. I don't have. I wish I had a full share of that thing. It's just because I have been watching it for a good time. For a good while now. I've been watching Elon for a good while now. But like I said, I'm gonna throw some more. I'm gonna in the next couple of weeks. I'm gonna be putting some more money into Old Dominion. I'll be putting some more money into and I'm gonna sell it and buy gold.
I'm back in. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna let me explain to you. Did I tell you how much? I didn't tell you how much gold is up for me right now, did I?
No.
Let me tell you about that because that's an interesting one. Gold is the oldest ETF that I bought when I first started, and I find it interesting that I had picked one that has been so important to me over the years between gold and silver. So IAU right now, I am up percentage wise. I am up 90%. No, excuse me, 13%.
Wow.
13% overall. And that means that I've had this for 3 years, maybe 3 years. I've had it for about 3 years. And I keep buying more and more.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. And it's the one that I have the most amount of shares in. I have the most amount of shares out of all the stocks and ETFs that I've bought. IAU, I've bought the most amount of shares. Now, mind you, I have other ones that have percentage wise are much higher, like TECK. TECK for me is up 55%, but it does not compare with an IAU. It just does not. I normally also buy a good amount of silver, but silver, like I said, it fluctuates pretty highly. So I will buy and sell silver. I will keep gold. Silver would be the place that I spend a little bit of money, put it in. If I see something I want to invest in, I'll take it out of silver and invest into from there. But silver, I try to keep. I try to keep a good amount of. I definitely need to buy much more of silver because it took a little bit of a dip and now it's starting to pick back up again because I'm in the positive again. Let me see something. Okay, quote. So for like the past year, silver's been a little bit quiet, but then it's had these peaks, and the peaks come in around let's say every 2 to 3 months. It kind of comes in and just kind of just cleans up because it's normally between. Let me see something. What is the screener? Basic facts, top holdings. No. Oh, here it goes. So right now, 52 weeks. It's at a midpoint right now for its 52 weeks. So yeah, it's just one of those things that you just kind of, and it's cheap because basically silver right now is 23.75. The
Yep.
52 week high is 26.43, and the 52 week low is 19.80. So I always buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell with silver. Gold, I normally keep. I don't sell it. I don't play with it like that because I like the return. It does
I
not
like
have a
that.
dividend. Yeah, it doesn't have a dividend, but it keeps rising, keeps making me money, and I can't really complain. Anyway, yo, this is going. This one for real. I'm gonna do one thing too, and it's going straight to YouTube. I'm telling you right now. Um, yeah, we talk more about a little bit of that in a second, but let me end it.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the new setup. I'm gonna try to keep this sort of setup as long as possible. I'm gonna add a little something over there. I'm gonna add a little something right above us, right there.
Okay.
But other than that, that's pretty much it. I like the way this one came out. But anyway, have
Yeah.
a good week.
Yeah. And thank you. I'll tap in with you.
Yeah, man. I very much enjoyed this one.
Same. I like the flow that we're building. Seriously.